Have you ever experienced a moment of shocking self-betrayal? A conversation is flowing normally, and then, a single word, a specific tone, a subtle glance, and something snaps inside you. It's not a conscious decision. It's a hijacking. Your face flushes. Your heart hammers against your ribs. Your vision seems to narrow. And before the rational part of your brain can even engage, words, sharp, defensive, regrettable words, are already hanging in the air. The moment they leave your mouth, a cold wave of regret follows. Why did I say that, you think? I walked right into that. I let them get to me. If you are nodding, if that feeling is agonizingly familiar, understand this first and foremost: you are not weak. You are not broken. You are programmed. What you experienced was not a failure of character, but the activation of deeply embedded psychological software, installed piece by piece since childhood. This program is designed for a world that values compliance over authenticity, reaction over reflection. But before we dive into the code and learn how to rewrite it, if you're ready to understand the machinery of your own mind, please show this community of seekers that you're here by liking this video and commenting below with where you're watching from. It's powerful to see the global reach of those committed to mastery. This is not just about avoiding arguments. This is about a fundamental power shift, from being a puppet on the strings of external stimuli to becoming the master of your own internal state. 1. The conditioning, how you were built to react. From the moment we emerge into the world, the conditioning begins. A baby's cry is a pure, unfiltered response to a need. But soon, the shaping starts. Smile for the camera. We learn to prioritize appearance over authentic feeling. Don't cry. Be a big boy/girl. We learn to suppress vulnerable emotions. What will the neighbors think? We learn to outsource our self-worth to external judges. We are taught to comply when every fiber of our being screams for rebellion, to seek approval when our instincts tell us to stand firm, to be nice even when being real is what the situation demands. This social conditioning runs so deep that most people spend their entire lives as emotional prisoners, their moods and actions dictated by the expectations, words, and provocations of others. They mistake their conditioned reactions for their own personality. The core realization: you have been taught to live in a state of perpetual reaction. Your emotional triggers are not random, they are the precise points where your conditioning is strongest. 2. The fundamental divide, reaction versus response. This brings us to the most critical distinction you will ever make in your personal development: the chasm between reacting and responding. Reacting is animalistic, impulsive, and emotional. It is the knee-jerk response programmed into your limbic system. It is short-sighted, defensive, and leaves you feeling drained and powerless. Reacting is handing your remote control to someone else. Responding is humanistic, conscious, and strategic. It utilizes the gap between stimulus and action. It is deliberate, purposeful, and rooted in your values and long-term goals. Responding is keeping your remote control firmly in your own hands. The ancient strategist Niccolò Machiavelli, a ruthless observer of power dynamics, understood this implicitly. He wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." On the surface, this is about procrastination. But at a deeper level, it is about the discipline of timing. The fool is ruled by emotion, reacting immediately and often incorrectly, then spending days or years cleaning up the mess. The wise man observes, calculates, and chooses the most effective moment to act. His mind is a sharpened sword, not a dangerous, flailing weapon. The implications: every time you react emotionally, you broadcast your vulnerabilities. You reveal your triggers, your insecurities, your pressure points. You become predictable, and therefore, manageable. If you can be provoked, you can be controlled. 3. The path to mastery, cultivating strategic emotional intelligence. The goal is not to become a cold, unfeeling robot. That is merely another form of prison. The goal is to develop strategic emotional intelligence, SEI. SEI is the ability to feel everything, but be controlled by nothing. It is the process of transforming raw, chaotic emotion into refined, strategic power. This is an alchemical process. The pause, when the trigger is pulled, your first victory is to simply pause. Do not speak. Do not act. Breathe. Inhale and feel the emotion surge through you, the anger, the hurt, the fear. Acknowledge it. I am feeling anger. The analysis, instead of being the emotion, become its scientist. Study it. Ask, what specific thing triggered this? What underlying insecurity or value is being threatened? What is this emotion trying to tell me? The choice, now, from a place of awareness, not automatism, you choose. Given my goals and my values, what is the most powerful response? Is it silence? Is it a question? Is it a firm boundary? Is it a strategic withdrawal? This process transforms you from a match, igniting brightly but burning out quickly, leaving only ash, into a fuse. A fuse burns slowly, deliberately, with controlled intensity, leading to a precise and devastatingly effective outcome. 4. Advanced tactics, the tools of the unprovocable. Once you grasp the philosophy of SEI, you can employ advanced tactical frameworks. 1. Strategic silence. When confronted with aggression, the most powerful response is often no verbal response at all. Silence creates a psychological vacuum. The provocateur, expecting a fight, is left swinging at air. Their own chaos is reflected back at them, and in their discomfort, they will often reveal their true motives and weaknesses. Your silence is not passive, it is an active, formidable force. 2. The mirror technique. This involves calmly reflecting a person's energy or question back to them without adding your own emotional charge. If someone demands, "Why are you so lazy?" instead of defending, you simply reflect with a calm tone, "It seems you're really concerned about productivity right now." This forces them to confront the content of their own communication and removes the hook they use to trigger you. 3. The discipline of non-defense. Society conditions us to explain and justify ourselves. Powerful individuals understand that over-explanation is a form of submission. Every time you scramble to justify your actions, you hand over your authority. Your decisions, your boundaries, your life, these things do not require a committee's approval. Let your actions speak for themselves. Mystique breeds authority, over-familiarity breeds contempt. 4. Frame control. This is the ultimate level of mastery. While most people fight battles within a frame, e.g., arguing about who is right in a relationship dispute, the master controls the frame itself, e.g., shifting the conversation to, "What does a healthy resolution look like for us both?" The person who defines the terms of the debate has already won it. You control the frame through your language, your presence, and your unwavering commitment to your perspective. 5. The untouchable mind, the pinnacle of sovereignty. The culmination of this journey is what can be termed the untouchable mind. This is not about building walls or becoming arrogant. It is about forging an inner fortress of unshakable composure. The individual with an untouchable mind moves through chaos untouched. They see emotional storms as external weather patterns that do not define their internal climate. Is immune to manipulation. They recognize guilt, fear, anger, and flattery not as truths, but as tools people use to control others. Commands respect without demanding it. Their power is quiet, emanating from a core of self-possession that others can instinctively feel. Operates from a place of abundance, not scarcity. They do not fear loss of status, approval, or connection, because their worth is internally generated. People will sense this in you. They may not understand it, but they will recognize it as a form of power they cannot easily influence. You become a psychological enigma, unbreakable, unpredictable in the best way, and fundamentally free. 6. The invisible fortress, building unshakable internal architecture. Mastering your external reactions is only half the battle. The true foundation of power is the construction of an invisible fortress, an internal citadel so resilient that external events cannot breach its walls. This fortress is not built from arrogance or coldness, but from an unassailable sense of self-worth and purpose. Most people are like houses with no walls, their inner peace constantly disturbed by every passing comment and shifting social breeze. Their emotional state is determined by the weather outside. Your goal is to become a fortified castle. The storms may rage, but inside the courtyard, it is calm. The three pillars of the fortress. Sovereign self-worth. Your value is not a fluctuating stock price based on others' opinions. It is a non-negotiable constant, derived from your own code of conduct, your competencies, and your commitment to growth. When you know your worth intrinsically, you become immune to flattery, which is merely a tool to manipulate, and criticism, which is often a reflection of the criticizer's own state. A private internal narrative. The average person constantly explains, justifies, and seeks validation for their story. The strategist has a rich, complex, and private internal narrative. You know who you are, what you've overcome, and where you're going. You feel no need to broadcast your journey or your struggles for cheap sympathy. This mystery becomes a source of strength. The observer mind. This is the highest level of consciousness you can cultivate. It is the part of you that can step back and watch your own thoughts and emotions as if they were clouds passing in the sky. You are not the angry cloud, you are the sky observing the cloud. From this vantage point, no emotion can truly overwhelm you. Your fortress building drill. For 1 week, practice not correcting anyone's misunderstanding of you. If someone misjudges your intentions or character, simply let it stand. Observe the discomfort and then the immense power that comes from not needing to manage everyone's perception. 7. The mirror and the mask. Advanced psychological jiu-jitsu. Once your internal fortress is secure, you can begin to employ more advanced interpersonal strategies. Two of the most potent are the mirror and the mask. The mirror technique. When faced with aggression, manipulation, or emotional drama, do not resist. Instead, become a perfect, calm mirror. Reflect their energy, their words, and their questions back to them. They say, "You're being so difficult and unreasonable." The mirror responds, calmly, "It seems you're feeling very frustrated by this impasse." They demand, "Why won't you just admit you're wrong?" The mirror reflects, "It appears that getting my agreement is very important to you right now." This is not passive aggression. It is psychological jiu-jitsu. You use their own energy against them. By refusing to take the bait and instead reflecting their state, you force them to confront themselves. They are left arguing with their own reflection, and in the ensuing silence, their true motives are often revealed. The strategic mask, persona. The notion of being yourself at all times is a modern fallacy that leads to vulnerability. The powerful understand the use of persona, a strategic mask worn to achieve a specific outcome. This is not about being fake, it is about being adaptive. In a negotiation, you wear the mask of the calm analyst, unswayed by pressure. When dealing with a toxic individual, you wear the mask of the bland bureaucrat, offering nothing of emotional value for them to latch onto. In a crisis, you wear the mask of the unshakable leader, projecting calm even if you feel fear inside. Your core self remains safe within your fortress. The mask is a tool you wear to navigate the world effectively without exposing your vulnerabilities. 8. Controlling the clock, the power of strategic timing. Machiavelli's maxim, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally," is ultimately about timing. Most people are slaves to the clock. They feel compelled to respond immediately, decide quickly, and resolve conflicts instantly. This is a reactive trap. The master understands that control over timing is control over the outcome. You must learn to decouple the stimulus from the expected response time. Applications of strategic timing. The pause. Before answering any important question or accusation, institute a mandatory pause. Count to 5 in your head. This simple act breaks the hypnotic rhythm of reaction and establishes your control. The delayed response. Not every email, text, or request deserves an immediate reply. Responding on your timetable, not the sender's, communicates that your time and focus are valuable. It prevents you from being managed by other people's emergencies. The patience to strike, this is the ultimate application. While your reactive opponent expends all their energy with initial bluster, you wait. You observe. You gather information. You let them make mistakes born of frustration. Then, when they are overextended and emotionally drained, you make your single, decisive move. Your action is so well-timed it appears effortless. The rule: he who controls the when controls the what. 9. The weaponization of kindness, disarming through unpredictability. The ultimate power move is one that completely dismantles your opponent's expectations. When the world expects you to be cold, strategic, and calculating, you can wield calculated kindness as a devastating weapon. This is not about being a pushover. This is about using generosity and grace as a tool of supreme confidence. The scene: a rival has openly tried to undermine you in a meeting. The room expects conflict. The reactive move: counterattacking, exposing their flaws, engaging in public warfare. The strategic move: weaponized kindness. Later, you approach them calmly. I sensed a lot of passion in your points earlier. I'd genuinely like to understand your perspective better over coffee. Perhaps we can find a way to align our goals. This act does three things. It completely confuses and disarms them. Their aggressive playbook has no counter for this. It makes you look supremely confident and magnanimous to any observers. It places you on the highest moral and strategic ground. If they refuse your olive branch, they look petty. If they accept, you have opened a channel of influence. By being kind when you are expected to be cruel, you demonstrate that your emotional state is utterly untouchable. Your kindness is not a reaction, it is a choice. And that is the most powerful statement of all. 10. The untouchable mind, the culmination of sovereignty. We arrive at the final stage, the untouchable mind. This is the culmination of all the principles. It is a state of being where your peace, your purpose, and your power are derived entirely from within. You are no longer a participant in the emotional games of others, you are a silent witness, a master strategist moving through a world of sleepwalkers. The individual with an untouchable mind possesses absolute emotional sovereignty. No one can make you feel anything without your conscious consent. You experience emotions, but you are not ruled by them. They are data, not directives. Freedom from validation: your sense of worth is internally generated. You are indifferent to both praise and criticism, seeing them as two sides of the same coin, external attempts to define you. The power of purpose: your actions are guided by a deep, personal mission. This mission acts as a compass, making you impervious to trivial distractions and petty conflicts. You simply do not have the time or energy for what does not serve your purpose. Magnetic stillness: your calm is not passive, it is a palpable force. People will feel a sense of awe and unease around you because they cannot read you, cannot trigger you, and therefore, cannot control you. Your presence alone commands respect. The untouchable mind has moved beyond tactics. It has achieved a state of being that is its own greatest protection. You have transformed from a reactive individual, blown about by the winds of external circumstance, into a sovereign force of nature. This is the end of the beginning. The principles are laid bare. The path is clear. The work now is yours. Conclusion: your invitation to sovereignty. If you have absorbed this entire exploration, you have already taken the first step. You have become aware of the program. Now begins the work of rewriting the code. This is not a one-time event, but a daily practice. It is the commitment to pause before you pounce, to feel before you flee, to think before you threaten your own peace. This message is for those who are done being puppets. It is for those who choose to hold their own strings. If this is you, then I invite you to join a community dedicated to this deep work. Subscribe to the channel for more content that moves beyond surface-level tips into the architecture of real power. Drop "I am the fuse" in the comments below. Let me know that you are choosing strategic response over impulsive reaction. Like this video if it challenged you, because it helps these insights reach others who are ready to hear them. The journey from reactivity to responsibility is the most important journey you will ever take. It is the path to true freedom. The path awaits.